Welcome to the Resource Nexus podcast. As always, you can check out the full article along with stats and opinions at theresourcenexus.com. For years, I was openly skeptical of international players making the jump to college basketball, and I had written about it here. The track record was mixed. Elite prospects were rare, and most classes lacked the physical maturity or statistical proof to justify major expectations. But the 2025 class, it was different, and the data told us that before a single game was even played. Over the summer, I built my first ever statistical translation model to equate international professional production to college-level output. The goal was simple: compare new international additions on equal footing with returning college players and transfers inside my system. Pushback was immediate. Some didn't like the rankings. Others questioned how professional stats could translate. A few insisted certain internationals were ranked too high. Maybe they will be, time will tell. But let's take a look at the early returns. Now let's talk about the model itself. Over the summer, I built a statistical translation system designed to take international professional stats and convert them into college-level equivalents. The idea was simple, but the execution required precision. I accounted for league strength, minutes played, usage rates, and efficiency, basically creating a common language so we could compare international pros side by side with returning college players and transfers. This isn't guesswork. Every rebound, every assist, every point was adjusted for context. So a player dominating in, say, the German BBL or the ACB would get credit proportionate to the level of competition in college, so I could merge the two data sets. The result is a fair, data-driven ranking that highlights who can make an immediate impact in college basketball, and why some of the names you've seen hyped might not actually project as highly as the stats suggest. Now, with the season underway, the early results are validating the model and signaling a real shift in how international talent reaches college basketball. Everyone talks about the freshman class this year, but the international class is absolutely crushing it as well. These are the players who were in the top 250 in our preseason model based on EuroPro stat translations and how they're performing now. Starting at the top, Sananda Fru at Louisville, ranked 18th nationally in our model. He's averaging 10.3 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, with a PER of 25.1. He's efficient, smooth, and immediately impactful. Next, Hannes Steinbach at Washington, ranked 20th. He's putting up 14.7 points per game, 12.7 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game, with a PER of 26.2. That's double-double territory, and he's doing it with elite efficiency. Mario Saint-Superi at Gonzaga, preseason rank 26, is contributing 9.7 points per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, and a PER of 21.7, not the flashiest numbers, but extremely effective on both ends of the floor. Thais DeRitter at Virginia, ranked 32nd, is already putting up 15.3 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, with a PER of 26.9. He's one of those players who looks effortless, but carries a ton of impact. Mihailo Petrovic at Illinois, 38th in the preseason model, hasn't played yet due to injury, but he's one to watch as soon as he steps on the court. Ruben Dominguez at Texas A&M, ranked 71st, is producing 12.3 points per game, 1.7 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, and a PER of 23.4, a quietly efficient scorer who gets the job done. Stefan Vax at Providence, 106th in the model, is standing out with 16.7 points per game, 2.3 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game, and a PER of 21.8, high-volume scorer with solid efficiency. Filip Jovic at Auburn, ranked 125th, is contributing 6 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and a PER of 13.1. Not flashy, but steady on the boards. Dame Sarr at Duke, 161st in the preseason rankings, is averaging 9.7 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, with a PER of 20.1. He's got a physical presence and adds depth immediately. Ilyas Kamardine at Ole Miss, ranked 162nd, has been spectacular, putting up 18 points per game, 2.7 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, and a PER of 27.8. He's efficient, aggressive, and a true playmaker. Luka Bogovac at North Carolina, 181st in the preseason model, is contributing 11.3 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game, PER of 16.9, balanced, dependable, and getting better every game. Andrija Jelavic at Kentucky, 182nd, is adding 6.3 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 0.3 assists per game, and a PER of 12.3. A quiet contributor who does the little things well. Johan Gruenlo at Virginia, 192nd, has been solid with 8.3 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, and a PER of 26.3. Very efficient and a great rebounder for his size. Neocles Avdalis at Virginia Tech, 196th, is showing off 18.3 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, PER of 23.6. He's creating for himself and teammates. One of the most versatile pieces on this list, Andrija Grbovic at Arizona State, 214th, is averaging 10.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game, PER of 10.4, steady scoring, and a reliable presence. Finally, David Merkovich at Illinois, ranked 233rd, has been productive with 15.7 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, and a PER of 22.2. He's imposing physically and consistently contributes. Now, looking back, the only real miss in the model was Costas due to that tiny sample size overseas of 51 minutes I overlooked, and that should have been filtered out. Otherwise, the preseason rankings were remarkably accurate. Even players that got hype elsewhere, like Omer Mayer, 3.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists per game, 2.6 PER, were much lower in my model, translating to a 1.7 rating and ranking 794th. So far, Mayer and Paul Mbia are performing exactly how the stats suggested, not how perception painted them. This is a new era of international college players. With NIL money, high major programs aren't just taking flyers on teenagers. They're signing productive pros who have already competed against grown men, sometimes sharing the floor with 6 or more former NBA players in a single game. They're efficient, physically mature, and ready to impact immediately, and that's why the model ranked them so high. Take Sananda Fru again, 72% true shooting, 137 offensive rating, 12.4 points per game in 26.4 minutes in the German BBL, one of the best leagues outside the NBA and EuroLeague for context. Carson Edwards, at age 27, averaged 14.8 points per game in 24 minutes in the same league, with 54% true shooting. If Fru produced more efficiently than Edwards in his prime, the numbers speak for themselves. Edwards, for those that forgot, averaged 25 points per game in the Big Ten, back when he was less of a developed player. The takeaway is simple. High major programs are now treating international recruiting seriously, like the NBA does. With NIL, they can bring in 22-year-old pros with real resumes, elite competition history, and physical maturity that college kids rarely have. The early results prove the model works, and the international class is already reshaping the college basketball landscape. And I feel really confident these guys will turn out to be the top internationals and have very good numbers on the season. Let's now turn our attention to junior college. Junior college basketball has always been a proving ground for players trying to make their mark and get grades at the next level, whether that's at a high major program or a mid-major contender. Over the last 5 years, I've tracked junior college talent closely, and one thing is clear: junior college players are incredibly hit or miss for everyone. You can find high-level national players who really pop. Guys like Chad Baker Mazzara, who we had ranked number one season, while the rest of the junior college rankings had him 12th or higher. But the flip side is that there are players everyone loves, top 5 picks across the board, who end up completely flopping once they move to Division I. That unpredictability is just part of the junior college landscape. For the 2025 class, we built a data-driven ranking system to try and separate the real contributors from the hype. It's a little less sophisticated than what we do for international players, mostly due to the data available, but here's the approach. Team rank matters. Success is relative. Playing at a top-tier junior college program carries more weight than putting up numbers on a weaker team. Individual performance is next. We incorporate points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game, but points are weighted higher because scoring is the clearest measure of impact. Then we applied a weighted formula that gives team success the most influence while still rewarding players who make the most of their opportunities statistically. That means a high-scoring player on a mediocre team doesn't get the same boost as a key contributor on a championship-level squad. The result is a holistic ranking of junior college talent for 2025. It highlights players who not only put up numbers, but do so in the context of winning programs, giving a clearer look at who's ready to make an immediate impact at the next level. So far this season, we've already started to see which players are living up to their rankings and which ones are struggling to adjust. Keep in mind, it's still very early. Some players have only played 2 or 3 games, so we're looking at small sample sizes, but the trends are already interesting. Starting at the top, number 1, Isaac Finlinson from Hawaii has only played 2 games, averaging 10.5 points, 3 rebounds, and half an assist per game. Not huge numbers yet, but we're just getting started. I still have hope for him having watched the video. Number 2, Isaac Tavares from USM has started strong with 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, giving him a PER of 33.2. Exactly the kind of high-impact performance we hope to see. On the other hand, number 3, Vaughn Weems from Nevada has struggled through 3 games, putting up only 1 point, 1.5 rebounds, and half an assist for a PER of negative 3.7, a reminder that junior college is unpredictable. Even highly ranked players sometimes need time to adjust. Number 4, Xavier Edmonds from TCU is performing well with 11.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game, and a PER of 28. Showing the well-rounded impact we value, Texas Christian University did take a horrific loss to New Orleans, though it doesn't seem it was his fault. From Oakland, number 5, Isaac Garrett is averaging 16.7 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists, while number 6, Coy Thurman, has struggled with just 1.3 points and 1 rebound per game. Again, this illustrates how hit or miss junior college can be. Number 7, Arterio Morris from Bethune-Cookman, yes, that Arterio Morris from Kansas, is off to a strong start, posting 15 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game for a PER of 18.1. Number 8, Edwin Daniel from LaSalle, has had a quieter start with 3.7 points and 3.7 rebounds. Other notes, number 10, Aid Papula at Tulsa, contributes 8 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 2 assists, while number 11, Isaiah Dorceus at Milwaukee, is more of a facilitator with 3.3 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 3.8 assists. One player I want to highlight is number 12, Abdullahi Bashir from Auburn. Everyone told me he was underrated in our model, that he should be higher. But through 3 games, he's averaging 4 points, barely any rebounds or assists, with a PER of 4.8. At least early on, it seems like our model wasn't too low on him. Again, small sample sizes, but it's interesting. Finally, another worth mentioning, number 16, Cameron Williams from Portland, is producing really well early, putting up 12.7 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.7 assists, with a PER of 23. That's a nice early validation for a player outside the very top of our preseason rankings. So while it's still early, we're already starting to see which players are trending in the right direction and which ones need more time to adjust. This is exactly why we love tracking junior college talent. There are always surprises, hits, and misses, and it's all about seeing who can step up when it counts. This really is a difficult level to rank. As the 2025-26 junior college basketball season gets underway, most teams have just 4 or 5 games in the books, but that's already enough to start identifying the top talent across the junior college landscape. We're releasing a purely stat-based junior college player ranking built on measurable performance and team context. No hype, no subjective eye test, just numbers driving the list. Our player score formula puts team strength first, giving players on top squads the credit they deserve, while also factoring in key individual stats like points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. This approach highlights the players who aren't just putting up numbers but doing it on winning teams, the kind of talent Division I programs are most likely tracking. At the top of our early 2025-26 rankings, McCaden Adams of Snow College leads the way, followed closely by Bob Dixon of Jones College. These are the first 2025-26 junior college rankings published anywhere, making now the perfect time to get a jump on the season. For the full list and complete analysis, check out the resourcenexus.com. Alright, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you got some good insights. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who'd find it useful. And don't forget to check out the resourcenexus.com for more in-depth analysis. Until next time, check you later.
Cool. Guess we'll see you around.
All right, check you later.
Bye.
Wait, man, why are you always such a dork, man?
What are you talking
Check you
about?
later. Check you later.